Thanks to Wizards of the Coast for sponsoring this video. Hey friends, Kenji here, and welcome to this episode of Play Like the Pros, 5 advanced strategy tips and preparing for your first big tournament. Unlike my other recent videos that are geared towards newer players, this video will focus on tips for more advanced players who are looking to take their skills to the next level. So let's jump right in, starting with my 5 advanced strategy tips. Number 1, know when to mulligan. We all know to mulligan hands that have, well, all lands or no lands, but don't be afraid to mulligan a hand that's just okay as well. This is especially relevant and constructed when you're trying to build towards certain combos, or maybe your deck is just built for speed. For example, if you're playing mono red and you see an opening hand with 4 mountains, 2 Torbran, and maybe an Embercleave, well, you probably want to ship that back for something a little bit faster. I know it can be scary to lose a card when you mulligan, but starting with an opening hand that's just risky or not very good could even be more detrimental in the long term. Number 2, know when to be the aggressor or defender. What makes Magic fun and challenging at the same time is the always shifting battlefield. So although there's no set rules that say when you should be the aggressor and when you should be the defender, there's a few things to consider that will help you. What's the state of the game currently, including board presence, cards in hand, potential threats? If you appear to be leading, then maybe being more aggressive until things change is a good idea. Whenever you have the upper hand, you should always apply the pressure until your opponent can't handle it anymore. Don't get stuck on one thing or another. Be ready to switch from offensive to defensive, or vice versa at any moment. The game is a battlefield that is constantly changing, and you want to do what you can to make sure that you are in the right spot. Number 3, know the threats that you could be facing. This takes some time, but if you plan on playing any format seriously, you should know what bombs are in each color, the type of removal that exists, and how much mana they can cost. This is extremely useful when deciding how to play against different archetypes, so you know when to use your removal or combat tricks to get a leg up on the competition. Number 4, don't play to survive, play to win. I see this mistake a lot, and even I get caught up doing it sometimes. Don't just make plays that allow you to survive a little longer and do nothing towards leading you to victory. What I mean by that is, don't just focus only on your life not getting to 0, but focus on how to get back board advantage, how to knock your opponent's health in the meantime, what creature, spell, or attack do you have that can put you slightly back in the game, or even ahead. You want to keep constantly thinking about what you can do to not just survive, but also take control back and possibly win the game. Number 5, keep your opponents guessing. The less they know, the better. Bluffing is another way to throw your opponent off so that they make some misinformed plays. For example, if you're casting a spell, tap your mana in a way so that you leave open colors, signaling a potential trick in your hand. Maybe leaving open some blue mana you wouldn't have needed otherwise to signify a quench. Perhaps hold extra lands in your hand to make them think you have additional spells, when in reality, you don't have any at all. Keeping them guessing can buy you time and get them to play suboptimally. Now that we've gone over some strategy, here's a few tips to help you get prepared for your first big tournament. Number 1, Magic tournaments can be long, so stay hydrated and eat well. Whether you're at a Players Tour, a Magic Fest, or in a PTQ, Magic tournaments can easily stretch 8 to 10 hours, sometimes even longer. It's not always easy to step away for a proper meal, so make sure you bring a water bottle and snacks to stay on top of your game, both mentally and physically. Number 2, don't be afraid to call a judge. Whether you've accidentally drawn an extra card, or simply have a question about how a certain mechanic works, judges are there to help every step of the way. It may seem intimidating at first, especially if it's your first rodeo, but their job is to support you, and they don't bite. Well, usually. Number 3, be prepared for structured play. Unlike playing casually with your friends, or even at Friday Night Magic, big tournaments have more structured settings for sure. Rounds are always timed, usually around 50 minutes or so, and you have to be in your seat ready to play when the round time is announced. It might seem a little overwhelming at first, but this is to ensure that everything runs smoothly and you're not stuck there till midnight. Number 4, don't be afraid to say hi to your favorite players or pros. So you're sitting there minding your own business in the middle of a round when suddenly Hall of Famer William Huey Jensen walks by. Wow, this is your chance! No, but really, don't be afraid to say hello to your favorite pros, your streamers, or whatever. I found everyone to be very inviting, very friendly. Just be mindful if they're busy playing or even eating. You don't want to make them lose focus, but if they're just standing around, feel free to say hello. Number 5, win or lose, just try to have some fun. In most larger events, you're required to hit a specific number of points to qualify for Day 2. However, there's always side events that happen throughout the weekend as well, so even if you don't qualify for the second stage of the main tournament, there's still plenty of other Magic to be played. And that's it, 5 advanced strategy tips and ways you can prepare for your first tournament. I hope you found these helpful, and if you have any other tips to share, please feel free to leave some in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and thanks to Wizards of the Coast for sponsoring this video. Good luck.